This is Martha Bonetta, your friend of liberty here in the Commonwealth and all across our nation. It's my honor to be your host today, in for John Fredericks, here live in the studio. This is your Virginia 2018 election headquarters. This is the Commonwealth of Virginia Voting for Prosperity. It's been an exciting, historic show this morning, and our next guest is Ben Cline. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Martha. Great to be with you.
I'm so thrilled to have you on the show. You know, Ben was a delegate, or is a delegate, in the Virginia House. He just won the Republican nomination for the Fighting 6th Congressional District. My dear friend, Bob Goodlatte, I will miss him dearly. A great man who's left an incredible legacy. He served with honor, and I couldn't be happier and grateful, more grateful than Ben Cline filling Bob Goodlatte's shoes.
Well, thanks, Martha. They are big shoes to fill, but we've got a lot to get done up in Washington. It is really important that we send somebody that helps our president, make sure that Congress actually works with our president instead of just kind of blocking or slow-rolling his agenda. He's got so much that he's trying to get done on immigration, on taxes, on foreign affairs, you name it. His administration is really doing a great job, and I want to get up there and help him. Absolutely.
This president has done more for our country in his tenure as president than any other one in the history of America. And time again, we see that he is making America first. He's making our veterans first. He's making health care first. And with 44 incumbent Republicans not returning, it is critical that we send our leaders to the halls of Congress that will support our president's vision for America. And I know, Ben, you will do that. I was hoping you could tell our listeners what are the top three policy issues that you want to tackle right away.
Well, right away, I want to get in there and help continue the tone that the president has set. You know, draining the swamp it is policies that he's setting in place, but it's also an attitude. You know, when bureaucrats are sitting there in their agencies in Washington and they're actually worried about their jobs and worried about the performance of their agencies because he is draining the swamp and he's actually turning over a lot of, the problems that are in the administration, in these agencies. You know, the EPA has so many bureaucrats in there that really do nothing other than warm a seat.
Right.
And we really need to cut their employment levels and help businesses that are struggling under the mandates of the EPA and other agencies out there. That's just an example of the kind of help that I want to give our president. You know, I heard Barbara and Scott and others, Rob Whitman, talk about veterans.
Yes.
Veterans is a second area where Virginia has led because we have so many veterans in Virginia that we actually, in the Commonwealth, have funded at the state level veterans hospitals and veterans care centers. So to continue that care, because the VA is the perfect example of what can go wrong when you try and implement socialized medicine. We have veterans who've been waiting for care, and we have to cut through that red tape. And the bill that just got signed that had, I know you were supportive of it, and Denver Riggleman and
100%.
Kirk Cox was there with Bryce Reeves and others to celebrate the signing of that bill into law, which will give veterans that option for care more quickly than they would otherwise get at their VA facilities. That's just fantastic stuff. So continuing that leadership on Veterans Affairs would be something I want to do. And then immediately, you know, I'd like to address infrastructure. Our president wants to do an infrastructure bill. I want to help him. I want to make sure that I-81, which if you've ever been on I-81, you know.
Oh, yes.
It's a truck nightmare.
Yes.
And so it needs a third lane. I want to put 81 at the top of the list on that infrastructure bill, so I want to help our president get that infrastructure bill passed, too.
Oh,
it all
absolutely.
comes down to being willing to just turn things over and get things done, and that's what I want to do.
Well, I couldn't be more thrilled than to have you in the halls of Congress serving this administration and the Fighting 6th Congressional District. You know, there's a lot of talk of you, Denver Riggleman, Nick Freitas, and so many other liberty-minded. We have a liberty wave coming to the Hill. And I was hoping you could.
I like that.
I like it too, and I was hoping you could speak a little bit to that. That's where my heart is, and we're seeing it happen here all over the Commonwealth, really all over the country. And I just wanted to know if you could speak to why is this happening now? Why are we seeing this love, this hunger, this desire to lift up members into office that are liberty minded?
Well, I think, Washington has strayed from its constitutional moorings. It has lost its way. We need people from the grassroots who celebrate the Constitution, who remember that it is the beginning and the end of what the federal government should be about. If it's not in the Constitution, the federal government shouldn't be doing it. So at the grassroots level under the last administration, under the Obama administration, we saw what a runaway bureaucracy can do. You saw personally on your farm what a runaway bureaucracy can do.
And I want to thank you because you were a chief co-patron. Yeah, Ben Cline was a chief co-patron to fight for the family farmer, to fight for property rights, to fight for less regulation, to provide for more opportunity for our farmers here in the Commonwealth. And I just want to thank you, Ben. It really meant the world to not just my family, but to not just farmers all across the Commonwealth, but also to consumers that really want to have access, and they want to see our small producers thriving. So I really want to thank you for that, and I know you're going to carry that on in the halls of Congress.
You lit a fire. Under the Commonwealth, and we were happy to help you and pass that legislation. But the fire that you lit is still burning, and it's a fire for liberty and for the Constitution, and for folks who have come in, like Nick Freitas, into the House of Delegates, and no one is more articulate, more eloquent, can convey the passion that we have for this document than Nick Freitas. And to listen to him on the floor is just is a real treat. So it would be great if he could share that with the rest of the country, and we want to share that fire of liberty that we lit in Virginia with the rest of the country. So
absolutely.
I hope we can do that together. Denver Riggleman's going to be great. I want to commend you for stepping up as well. You recognize that our constitutional republic is not a spectator sport. It requires participation.
That's exactly right.
God bless you for stepping up, Martha.
Thank you. It was a wonderful experience. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I like to use a little wit and a little bit of wit and humor with all the smears and all of that, because I'm told that politics is blood sport, and it takes a lot of courage to run, and I just couldn't be happier that Denver Riggleman is our nominee. He's going to be great in Congress with you and with so many great folks that we have there that really represent liberty, and they're willing to fight for.
Virginia's going to lead the way. We are going to. I think there's a new wave that's coming in Virginia that's going to join some great Virginians who are already in the House of Representatives, and we're going to do some great things, and Virginia is going to be heard from again.
Fantastic. Well, we have next on our phone our next U.S. Senator Nick Freitas. So I'm going to say goodbye to you, Ben Cline.
Right.
Ben Cline is going to be serving us all, fighting for us all here in the Commonwealth, in the Fighting 6th Congressional District when he becomes our congressman. Thank you so much, Ben.
Thanks, Martha.